Hi, this is Alec Dalton from Kentucky, starting with our first interactive assignment, salt mining, and today just going over a presentation basically about trying to understand how ions are charged, whether positively or negatively, and what kind of causes that reaction to occur. So to do that, we're going to do a little experiment that's been laid out. We've got our plate, very simple, a balloon already blown up, ready to go, and then a handy-dandy combination of salt and pepper, freshly ground up. So what we'll be doing is basically trying to take an object that has a negative charge, so the balloon, and then trying to see if we can get it to attract other ions that would be positively charged, because opposites attract. So I have a couple of drawings just to help me kind of illustrate the points here. So the idea being here, first idea, is to give the balloon, so kind of the rubber, a charge. We're going to have to do something to cause those ions to actually have that charge. So if you think about it, just daily items that we touch, whether it be this plate or this paper, the car door when you go to the car, anything like that, you're not typically going to have like a shock or a reaction of any kind like that. There needs to be something happening to cause a more noticeable charge. So what we do is, like in this picture, we're going to take a balloon, well I am, and I'm going to rub it on my hair, which is going to cause the electrons to kind of pull apart or rip apart or move, because the ions are transferring from my hair to the balloon, giving the balloon a more negative charge. So it's going to have more electrons, leaving my hair with a more positive charge. Now, I have this other picture that I drew. I don't know if you've ever seen where some people will have something that's kind of staticky, and like just part of their hair will go toward the balloon or attract like this. So this is me if I had long hair. The idea here is that once you do this, you rub it on your hair, again, the negative ions are going to give the balloon a more negative charge. The ions in the balloon a more negative charge. So the positive, over positive charge in the hair will attract. But notice even in this picture, just like in real life, you aren't going to see all of your hair just kind of comb into the balloon. Only some of them will, and that in this example would be because some hair strands are going to be lighter, so they're not as dense, and so if something is a little less dense, then it's more likely to have that pull, which we might see with the salt and pepper, I don't know. But so what we're going to do is basically, like I said, we're going to try to, after I've already rubbed the balloon on my hair, to get the balloon negatively charged. So it looks like negative charges are down here on the balloon. Okay, so there's our negative ions there. We're going to lower it down onto the plate to see if either the salt or the pepper with their positive charges will go up to the negative, because the opposites attract. So let's give it a go and see what happens. First, again, take the salt and pepper. So do pepper first. So I did 5 twists on that one, and I'll do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we've got an even amount, according to this crank, of 5 twists of pepper and salt. So next, here, really trying to rip apart the electrons, and then we're going to lift the plate up a little bit so we can see. Lower it onto the plate. You might be able to hear it. So what is happening is we're seeing, or I'm seeing, It looks like a combination of not just only the pepper but also the salt at the same time, which again can be because the salt and the pepper would have kind of that positive charge, so it would attract up to the balloon, which it doesn't look like with my screen. You can see it there, but I'll just brush it off there. It looks like it's mainly very small pieces. So again, going back to kind of what we were saying with the hair picture, like it looks like things that are less dense are the ones that shot up, and then my plate has the bigger chunks, and you can kind of see the black pepper chunks that are bigger, and maybe even some of the salt chunks that are a little bit bigger as well. So kind of interesting that both would go up. I guess I had been left with the impression that with the information for doing this experiment, that would mainly just be the pepper that would come up, but I did say it might go wrong at times. So if I was to kind of take a guess of what might have been the cause of that not quite going as intended, I suppose it would probably have to do with maybe the way the salt and pepper are stacked on one another. So as you saw, I kind of did several turns of the salt grinder and the pepper grinder around the plate, so it might have, since I did the pepper first and then the salt afterward, maybe the pepper being underneath kind of took salt up with it. I don't know. It is possible too that maybe the balloon was too close to the plate to where the charge was strong enough to pull up both pepper and the salt. So with that being said, again, the idea is, and we were able to see that the charges will attract one another. So same way when we have ionic bonds where we have those combinations, it's going to be where the charges are going to be what bonds things together. So if you have an atom that transfers one electron over to another element or a compound, that's going to form that bond because one is transferring over to the other, and the charge difference is what pulls them together. So that is all I have for this interactive assignment. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.